Everybody has some sort of rough patch. I lived with my mom. She was a single mom. We moved a lot. I think really from the time I was born until we moved here, I had been to a new school almost every year. So there was no stability. It was really chaotic.
When he passed away, I kind of started drinking a lot, and I don't know, I was like leaving my son with my sister a lot, and I don't know, I just kind of had a rough few months, and like I lost my place, and so I kind of just drank instead of like crying and letting everything out the way I should have.
By the time I was like 16, I found myself homeless for a good 5 years. I just traveled around Canada. A lot of people look down on you and they don't see you as really being a human, basically. You're just like this piece of trash, basically, floating around.
Growing up, I guess I was very shy. I didn't go to school much because I was so shy. I actually had dropped out at, I think, grade 6. Every time I walked into a classroom, I guess, my throat would close up, and it was really bad.
I did a lot of drugs, and I've done like hard drugs and cocaine, and struggled with trying to like find myself like pretty much throughout like all my life. And at school, I literally couldn't go to my classes because it made me too anxious just sitting there.
I faced some trauma in my childhood and teenage years. I was very unhappy, and basically I was living life just trying to quiet my brain. So I would do any substances, alcohol, whatever I could just to calm my brain down for a minute. I hated myself, I hated life. I had, I don't know, no passion for life. And I just woke up one morning with a spark and knew I wanted something different. And then the Urban Canvas project appeared, and it was the beginning to the change of my life, like the biggest change of my life.
I spent about 15 years working in a maximum prison just outside of Winnipeg called Stony Mountain, and seeing that art seemed to be a big focus of a lot of the inmates there. When I left the prison system, I worked for Boys and Girls Clubs of Edmonton as a personal development coach for Aboriginal youth. And then it really started to become something big in my head that maybe we can develop this program where we use art as the engagement tool and use that really just as a tool for personal development and redirection. And also to develop that common bond between the coordinators or the mentors or the leaders that are going to be working with them, and try and develop a relationship, develop trust between them. And then my theory is and was that if you can develop trust with a young person, and then you can work with them on some of the barriers that they have, or some of the negative things that have happened in their life, or just help them along the way and get them more developed to be able to be successful within our society the way it is. If you have that trust, you can make a difference.
When I came here with just nothing really, just an idea, and I went looking for funding for this idea and this program that I had, and we got our first one going in 2001.
We only take people into the project that we feel really need the project. By the same token, we also have to kind of make a judgment, is this person ready?
Yeah, we had all faced a really different background and a different past, but like anyone, we all knew pain, sadness, adversity, and we were all kind of at a turning point, and we were there just to help each other.
Well, it helps like struggling youth, right? Like that's what it's kind of aimed for, right? It's aimed to help people that are going through hard times, right? And like art is therapeutic, right? It's meant to be therapeutic and, you know, help you. And if you're like a little bit, you know, emotionally unstable or mentally unstable, you know, you're going through rough times, art's there to help, right? And you also get paid to come here. So you get paid, and it's kind of like therapy. It's like getting paid to go to therapy, but you're making stuff. So I think it's great.
Obviously, we've got a circle of 12 people that don't know each other. They all have different backgrounds. They all have barriers to employment. They've all had difficulties within their life, and they have not been successful in employment or successful in school. But nonetheless, we bring all these people together, and now we're in this kind of little art group, and we basically start with them with the thing that they know, and that's art and drawing.
I learned a lot from my instructors, like whether it's how to hold a pencil to how to grid out a giant mural. And yeah, just basic tools that most artists use every day, and learning confidence and things that I never would have learned.
Oh, it helped me so much. Helped me build my confidence in myself, my ability to communicate with others, because I was always very quiet and kept to myself. Communication, cooperation, got a lot of help that way. Kept building me up and still helps me so much.
Now I walk down the street and people are like, hey, you're that art guy. And it's like, yeah, that's me, I guess. Which is pretty cool.
We didn't just focus on art. Art was a huge part of it, but we'd also work on conflict resolution. We'd work on confidence building. We'd work on healthy boundaries, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, just overcoming all sorts of trauma, working on different things to do with self-esteem, to do with education, just moving forward and growing as a person, as a whole.
Everyone's unique in their own ways and has their own abilities and their own talents, and bring them all together, and you can have quite an outreach. I'm now helping leading Cosmo groups to do art. Elmwood comes, which is also part of Cosmo. They come and I do art with them.
Out of the people that came into this program from 2001 to 2010, we had about a 90 to 91% success rate of people going through the project. Success in the sense of, or in the terms of numbers, when we talk about getting them back into sustainable employment or back into formal education. That's only the numbers, but there's been a lot more success when we look at how the person has bettered themselves, physically, mentally, emotionally, socially.
I just like drawing and painting, so as long as I'm doing that, I'm usually pretty happy. And if I get paid for it, that's cool too. And if not, I like to share the gift that was given to me, so that's the other way I see it too. I want to give back something that has benefited me so much, right? I was in the 2010 to 11 group, the last one that they had before the funding had got cut.
It was Urban Canvas 10, and which was kind of weird because, you know, I thought it was kind of weird because it was the 10th one, and then all of a sudden there's funding was cut, and now it's coming to 11 5 years later, which is kind of cool.
My brother was in the last Urban Canvas. That, and I know a lot of the people who actually work here, because, you know, through my brother and whatnot. They told me about it, and they're like, oh, you should try it out, you should try it out, because, yeah, I told them that I used to be able to draw and paint and sculpt and stuff, and they're like, try it out, so I did, and I got in.
I actually went to the White Buffalo with my son for something, some program or something, and I got a card from there. And I actually was grabbing it for someone else, and then I went home and my mom got me the same one. So I ended up calling and everything and coming for an interview. And then I got a call back like the next day, so it was pretty exciting.
I did the interview, and actually they were like, we'll phone you on Wednesday if you get in, and I didn't get a call Wednesday, so I was like really sad, and I even like cried to my mom and was like, Mom, I didn't get in. And then they phoned me Thursday, and they were like, yeah, you're in, and I was like, oh my goodness, like I like yelled on the phone. Like, I don't know, I felt really good about myself getting into it, so.
I seen their little tiny flyers, and then I was like, oh, this sounds awesome. Like, you get paid to do what you want to do. And then maybe like a minute later, my girlfriend pulls out the same thing from her purse. I was really lucky to stumble onto this.
Well, I'm from a reserve, and my band there actually had got one of the flyer things. So they were like, hey Tristan, you know, we saw this thing, and they were like, you know, you should go. When I got the news, it was kind of like I was using email the whole time, and then they told me to call, and I was like, why? so I called and I was like, hi, this is Tristan. They're like, oh, Tristan. I was like, yeah, that's me. They're like, okay, well, you got accepted. And I was like, I know my auntie started crying. She was like, I'm so proud of you. I was like, no, don't cry. No. And my granny was really supportive of it. And my mom, obviously, she was really happy. And then, yeah, I don't know, they're good, they're good.
Art has really been something I think it's been something that saved me my entire life. I was beyond excited. I didn't think I was gonna get in. They said that they had just about 40 applicants and we're only choosing 11 or 12. And so I don't know, you're always your worst critic, right? And so I thought for sure I wasn't gonna get in, and then got the phone call and I was crying and I was so happy. It was like a dream come true.
Daryl, the first day, he said something about the only way you can really live is if you push yourself, and to succeed you have to push yourself and go out of your comfort zone, and I've really done that a lot, and I'm glad I have because it's really made me a better person. What is the Urban Canvas Project? The Urban Canvas Project is a 39-week full-time Monday to Friday commercial and fine arts skills enhancement and personal development project for artistically inclined young people between the ages of 16 and 30 who have faced multiple barriers to employment. When
you're doing the work, it's not actually work because it's something that you like doing. And me, I can't find enough time to do what I want to do in one day now. And now time is just flying. Like, oh, it's already 5:30. Like, where'd the time go?
I thought that I would be shy here too because it is kind of like a school classroom, but it's art all the time, so I can listen and I can do art, and then everybody else in my class also does art, which is cool.
Yeah, I have a daughter who will be 2, and I mean, I guess just work in general, but to do something that not only benefits her, but it really does make me a better person by going and being able to do something that's so therapeutic every day.
All of the pieces that you see here were inspired by something that we saw at the local history museum at the public library. And even though we were allowed to pick any topic we want, we all seem to kind of go to something a little bit dark, such as we've had some about murder, people who are missing, the hauntings in Saskatoon. And it was a really amazing experience to watch everybody kind of start from the first block and kind of get their ideas about what we're gonna do and then turn it into these amazing art projects that you see here today.
I'm going to give you a practical sense of budgeting from somebody that I think I have a real good experience in that, in the sense that I went through half my life not budgeting very well and didn't do very well financially. And then the second half of my life, I budgeted pretty good, and I've been fortunate enough to be in a pretty good position now because of what I've been doing since I've actually started to budget. You know, anytime we do these things, again, I say the same thing like I do all the time, and that's that we give you stuff, we talk to you about things, and we just hope that you think about it.
I've been putting in a lot of thought into what I want out of this program, and that was one of the questions they asked me in an interview was, what do you hope to do or plan to do after this? And I answered, I think that's something I should think about while I'm going through the program.
I'm very much so a person that lives day to day rather than stressing about where I should be in 5 years. I really want to be in university and working towards being a sexual assault support worker within the correctional facilities, such as like the jail or the psych ward here.
My son likes me going to work, and he's understanding about it, and he likes me working. I like working because it's to make our lives better. I like telling my friends that I go to work and stuff, because then they can do it too, like no matter where you are.
So after I've done this, I want to try to finish my 12 and do what I wanted to originally do, but yeah, so it'll give me kind of, I originally wanted to help people, but then I decided, no, rather help animals.
I I really want to do something with art. Like before Urban Canvas, I was doing art already like every day during the summer because I didn't have anything else to do, and I just love it.
I know before this program, when I was doing art, I never thought I could make a living out of it. And I don't know, just coming here, I guess I see like a lot of different artists that want to do the same, which is really cool. It gives me hope.
Yeah, it was like the best time of my life. I'd say one of the best times, the most memorable. I worked with a lot of the people that were in my program now, and I really enjoyed it.
If there was no art, there would be no signage, there would be nothing. It would be blah. You see art all over that you never saw before, like 10 years ago, and the anti-graffiti initiative of doing the traffic light boxes, and that brings art again to the community. And you look on your coffee mug, they'll have a design on it of some sort. That's a form of art.
I don't know where I'd be without this. Like before I was just serving minimum wage, I was drinking like all the time. I don't know where I'd be. Now I work here, I work for the university, I go to university, I sell art. Like my life has completely changed. I don't even recognize who I was 5 years ago. I woke up one morning and I said, "I love you, Jane," and I took my own breath away, and it was so cheesy, but it was amazing. Like I hadn't said that to myself, I don't think ever. I think this program, it wasn't just a program, like it completely changed my life.
I'm so proud of our group, and I'm so looking forward to spending the next 6 months with them and watching them grow more and more.
If you have program ideas that you'd like to see on maxTV Local On Demand, write us at max.local@sasktel.com. maxTV programming is now available on maxTV on the go at maxtvonthego.sasktel.com.